Today, I'm joined by Chris DuBois from Dynamic Agency OS. He helps agency owners stop running everything themselves and start leading with system. Chris, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Miki.
Obviously, I know you well. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because, like I said, we're just talking about the people who will be watching this didn't know our relationship or know about you. So I'll just start with that. So, can you share a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and your company?
Sure. So, my name is Chris. I am an agency coach. Kind of realized a couple years ago that a lot of agencies get by purely on referrals. And then at some point, they're either those referrals dry up and they have no new business coming in, or they're looking to grow their agency and they don't really have a way to do it because the referrals can't kind of grow with them. And so I created the Dynamic Agency OS to help solve for that problem.
So that kind of leads to what inspired you to start it. Like, is there like more specific moment or reckoning that happened to lead
Yeah.
you to this?
So there's a couple versions. um, one of them, when I got out of the army, I started working at an agency, became their head of ops, and became CEO, and then realized I could kind of work for myself and do things with a little more freedom. And so I set off to do my own thing. And in doing that, it was like I was looking around, like, okay, what problem can I solve? And that happened to be one I eventually honed in on. The I guess the other story is like I talked to a lot of agencies, even when I was running the past agency, and it was like that was the thing that came up all the time: agency lead generation. Everyone, it's like so many marketing agencies I talked to didn't understand how to market themselves, and that was a little concerning for me. And so I started just thinking through that, and like, well, why are they struggling to market themselves? And often it came down to like they sound like everybody else. Like there's more and more agencies are popping up every day. It's really hard to stand out from like some guy who just he found a laptop on eBay and now he's sitting in his mom's basement claiming to be a marketing agency. It's like how do you set yourself apart from that guy? And most agencies can't do it because they're using the same words, they're using the same services, all of those things. And so I realized like that's the problem. It's really positioning. How do we actually differentiate your agency and make it so that you stand out against everybody else? And when I realized like that, I mean, it's not easy, but like it's easier to solve for that problem than just lead generation when you have to do the positioning first. And so it makes everything else easier. And so I guess that's what I realized. And then I just dove in there.
Yeah, I think I totally agree because even when we worked together, that was one of the things that we know it in our head, but we didn't really clarify it to verbalize it or even advertise it or even say it out loud to make sense for other people. And I think you're helping us to get there. And it was very, very great clarity moment as a company. Like I'm sure it's like it's not just for the agency that's helpful like that, but it's for small companies. It was very helpful to understand and actually even flow through it, I feel like. So I think that that really makes sense to do that, and that's funny that a lot of marketing agencies doesn't know how to market themselves. It was a running joke between like my co-founder Matt and I. We're like, it's like, how is it possible that they don't know how to market themselves? So we had an experience that they couldn't really help agency like us to market well because they don't know how to market themselves. So I think it's a really good approach, and then I think I can resonate very well with that.
Yeah. It's a I mean, well, two things there. One, it's very different to market a service-based business than it is to market a product. And so I think that's where a lot of agencies they'll like be great at marketing for like a SaaS company and they think they just have to do the same things, but like a SaaS company, you're at least getting a product, right? If I go sell a toothbrush, I can exactly what I'm putting in your hands. With a marketing agency, like it's completely different. It's like I have to promise you an outcome. And that could be ambiguous. It could be like we got to find ways to make it more concrete. We're essentially selling people's hours, right? Their time to get this stuff done. And so even that's like just adding all of these different layers to it. Uh, but then the other piece, like as you and Matt saw, it's like you can be great at running your agent. Like your clients love you. But it's like the taking the things that they're telling you that are awesome and like what you're getting in testimonials and all that, and even just like taking the next step of how do we now get other people to hear these things to want to hire us? Like it is hard. It's just not something naturally that people think about.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's like it's totally agreeable because a lot of agencies start with a referral base, and then that was easier entry point because they understand you, they know you. But when you're trying to pivot out of referral base and try to market to have other people who have no idea about you understand you, that's exactly what you need to do it. Just define it and then tell the people. Right. Leading to, so I know you also run community, like with the business owners or agency owners. How, as actually, I think it's a two perspective on that for you because I don't know if you have you ever been part of any business communities? If you were a member, how has being a part of business community or peer group supported your growth as a founder and also as a leader and person who's running it? Any insights on that as well?
Yeah. I'm in a lot of communities. My like the side of my Slack like application is just full of workspaces for different paid, some are paid, some are free. Um, yeah, they're just I'm very bullish on communities in general. Like I feel like the more AI takes over, the less humanity we're kind of being faced with. And so any ability to actually talk to real people, like even if it's not face to face, although those engagement like in-person events are going to be continuing to crush it. But just being able to like talk to people, to peers, to see what's happening. And I think it's really helped my business, not because I've gotten a lot of like leads and new business from these communities, but because I get to hear exactly what problems people are talking about. And so if I share advice or I see someone asking a question, it's like that's an idea that I can go create content, test it out, validate it, see if that's something people actually care about, and then just put the content into the world. And if people like it, awesome. Like I found something that works based off what actual agencies are talking about. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I am very bullish on communities. I think everyone should be part of them. You can't, especially now, like social media. It's just people will say anything. It's at some point there was like a point in our past, like humanity's past, where we had to be really good at something
Yeah,
in order to be popular, right? If you're like the best hunter in the tribe, everybody wants you around because like you're going to put food on the table.
yeah,
The other way that you could be really popular was if you were like very virtuous, right? Like you're the wisest person in the group. So everybody wants you because like they know you're going to be able to think about those types of things that they don't think about. At some point, we got social media, and now you don't actually have to be good at anything. You can just signal virtue and say, I do these things. And now people are like, oh, that like this person is virtuous. And they usually get there by putting other people down. And so, anyway, you can probably tell I'm not a fan of social media, but
me either.
communities, it's really hard to do that because you do have to show some of your results. Like you're talking to people, and when you're having conversations rather than just putting something out there and like as a post and being like spending hours kind of drafting this post versus like just firing off a little conversation with someone in Slack. It's very different, and so you actually have to show up, you have to participate, you have to um, do that. You're going to be working with generally better people, I think, than if you were to just only use social media.
That's true. Yeah. And since you've been a lot of different communities, paid and unpaid, is there anything that you value the most if you were to stay in that community?
Um, so actually, what I've realized across all of the communities I've been a part of, the people who stay in the communities the longest are the ones who actually contribute to the community. So like when you're actually participating, you're going to receive value back. I think a lot of the people like within my community, within others that I've seen people like churn out from these paid communities, it's like the ones who are actually participating are getting something versus the ones who just kind of sit there and they're like reading stuff like, yeah, this community isn't really for me. It's like, yeah, but you didn't talk to anybody. Like the whole point of community is to come together, right?
Yeah,
And like we have shared interests. We're going to come together. We're going to actually like work through stuff. And so, yeah, that's probably the thing that I've noticed the most. But like, there's so many, like, just meeting people, getting those conversations going, finding people who have differing opinions, so that you can strengthen your own, or abandon your own and like adopt theirs. Yeah, there's tons you can do there.
Was there any community that you were just, like, so disappointed that you just didn't wanna continue being in there?
Um, yes, but I
Oh,
won't
really?
I won't use their name.
No, don't go into the name, but what was the characteristic that disappointed you?
Yeah, it was that even when you would contribute, no one in the community was being like there's no incentive for everyone to participate. And so it was just kind of dead all the time. And so even when you try to like create conversation, nothing would
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
And then people would complain about the community, but it's like, yeah, but you guys are causing this. Like the members are what make the community. Um, yeah, and
yeah,
I'm
that's
no
fair, yeah,
longer in it.
yeah. I had an experience with that, and then it was, like, it was hard. I'm like, I had the conversation with another member from the group, and we're trying to do something, and no one responds. But, like, well, but and also the organizers wouldn't help either. That's the
Right.
worst time. So, I mean, if you can
Yeah.
just promote it and boost it, maybe people might get notified and then they'll participate, but, not
Well, and that's why for the dynamic agency community, mine, if someone asks a question, if I will, my goal is to respond as fast as possible so they know someone is there. But I try to tag as many other people that could have a response to this question as possible. So now it almost forces them to answer. So even if they don't want to, it's like
yeah.
I'm kind of saying your name at the party, like come meet this person, and so like you can't really ignore me. And so so I do that all the time in the community. It helps just
'Cause, like, sometimes you're just not paying attention, and then you doing that just kinda enable and give you a notification to kinda check on it, so,
right.
mm, good
Yeah, I
good
have
strategy.
I am not good at, letting notifications remain in my Slack, and so, like, I'll go through and just, like
So you have to empty out.
even in communities where, like, oh, some of the channels have nothing to do with me, I'll just, like, click on them to, like, remove the notifications, and then and so that's
You just
probably
make
a
your
an
own bots
issue.
person.
I'll work on that in 2027. That's a future problem.
Alright, my next question is, been with a lot of you known a lot of, agency owners or business owners or leaders. What would you say the one skill that is absolutely essential for these guys?
Alright, well, this one's gonna sound stupid now that with my 2027 problem, statement, but I think focus, like, the as a skill is one of the best things that anyone in business can work on. The ability to focus enough to have one goal that you're working towards, or actually just reduce your goals instead of trying to do everything, to focus on quality a lot more than just quantity, unless the goal is quantity, I guess. But even just like sitting at your desk, I had someone ask me this. I've had a couple people ask me this, but it's like, how do I get so much done? Because I produce a lot of content. I have a lot of clients, and I'm doing it all on my own. But it's that when I sit down to work, I focus on the task in front of me. Like I have never had to put like an app blocker on my phone or like timers on my computer. I just sit down and work, and I use motion for my calendar so that Sunday night I build out my entire plan with these are the priority tasks. Here's how long I think they're going to take, all of that, and it just builds my calendar for me. So I never have to think about what to work on again. I just sit down and say, okay, what's next? And it lines up my task for me. I just power through that task, start the next one. And it, yeah, it makes such a difference in your business.
It does.
Um,
It's
yeah,
hard.
so it is.
It's
I
like
mean,
it's a really great skill.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think if I didn't have the military to like beat that into me earlier, like just the discipline of being able to say, I'm doing this and then going off and doing it, that I would probably have a harder time. Thank you to my drill sergeants for the abuse.
alright, so where can people learn more about you, and how can they
Yeah, so dynamicagencyos.com is where you can learn about everything that we do here. I say we as if it's just me. But then we have Dynamic Agency Community in case you're interested in that. But otherwise, I'm happy to always connect with people on LinkedIn and just chat away there.
That's all I have. Thanks for your time again. And anything
Awesome.
else you want to say to the public, the word?
No, stop relying on referrals. Take control of your marketing, people.
Awesome. Well said. All right. Thanks, Chris.
And thanks for having me.